Okay, cool. Hi Ben, welcome. So we start standing. So standing wherever you are in your room, space. Just look around you. Let's start from there. See if there is anything alive in your vicinity. I have some moths flying around. And if not an animal, maybe there is a plant nearby, or I don't know, some dripping water, something natural besides the man-built objects around. And just acknowledge any living thing that can be around you right now. Maybe it's also an ant that you don't see. But there is always this possibility, as you don't live in a vacuum, that even if you think that you are in a separate room, alone, probably some form of life is around you. So it's just good to have in mind that you're never really alone in this sense. Good. So from this idea of never being alone, you can walk around yourself, just look around you. You can make funny sounds if you wish. Don't take this very seriously. I don't. Just scan the room. See if anything catches your eye or eyes. Just acknowledge whatever your eye catches, even if it's not something of special significance. Your eyes can teach you. Yeah? When we get caught on something, even if we don't consciously know to say why this caught our eye, sometimes it can give us inspiration still. So if you notice that you scan the lower level, you can turn the other direction. If you notice that you scan the lower level of the room, maybe look higher up, towards the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Maybe there are some spider webs there. Maybe a spider is accompanying you in the room. Maybe a fly flying by. Maybe you notice a picture on the wall that you didn't see or you didn't look at for a while. Or you notice a deodorant that you thought you threw away some months ago, you realize it's still there. Anything that catches your eye really can be an inspiration. And when you turn to face the screen again, or you don't have to look directly at the screen, you can look above the screen. Just acknowledge that you are a form of life in the room of someone else right now. Yeah. So as I am a living presence in your room through the screen, so are other people, and you are for me. Even if I had no insects and no plants and nothing alive around me, right now your attention is with me, which is amazing. So thank you for accompanying me. I feel grateful for that. And from this acknowledgement of not really being alone, you are sharing this virtual space and real space in time with all of us, then start shifting the weight more to the right leg and more to the left. Feel how your weight is kind of finding its way to fall down into one leg and into the other. It doesn't matter how your feet stand at the moment. You can open them quite wide apart or have them quite close. It's really up to you. And notice when you shift the weight more into one leg or more into the other, how does your upper body react to this transition of weight? Do you stay frontal to the screen? Or do you maybe shift a little bit and rotate? Maybe you face more to the side of the room. And to the other side. And how does your head react in relation to that? Yeah? So if the torso is rotating, maybe slightly, maybe a lot, is the head staying focused on the screen? Or does the head turn as well? There are no right answers here. You're free to play. I'm just proposing questions so you can choose from. So you realize that even the things that you're doing by default, they have many options. And just because you chose one option to begin with, maybe even unknowingly, I'm just reminding you that there are more options to be played with if you so desire. And of course, if you chose to be quiet, or you just happened to be quiet, you can make sounds. At least on the recording, you are muted, so my funny sounds are the only ones that are being recorded. You can feel free and make a circus of sounds in your own room. And also, if you make sounds, whether they are mild or very grotesque, notice in which direction do you express these sounds. Do you express them more internally? I notice that I drop my face when I make these sounds. Or do you allow yourself to open to the space? Maybe make the sound higher up to the horizons of the room. And again, just remember that you can play with these options. Yeah. And let's change the leg, so the leg that was more in front can go back. Maybe on this orientation of the body, we have different tendencies. The two sides are not completely symmetrical. Maybe on one side we turned more and now we feel like we wish to be more frontal. Maybe something opened in our body and allowing more twist to happen. I don't know, you check for yourself. Remember, what you see on my body is just one example. Your body is different. And I encourage you to find what is interesting for you in your body. Mine is just there to remember there are other options, that's all. Is it possible to have the knees quite soft? So they're not so solid or stiff, but rather they're quite bouncy. So anything that you realize is holding in your upper body can drop through your body and down. And as it goes through the knees, it kind of cleans them. Maybe like a drop of water. Yeah, that is making your knees more, I don't know, with more of a liquefied feeling. Yeah. So the knees are not gates that needs to be pushed open, but they are more like I don't know, a slide, a water slide in an amusement park, in a water park. Yeah? And as the water flows down, the knees are allowing the water to flow through. Good. And now let's see where in our upper body there is holding water. Where do we hold water? First, maybe most easy is inside our mouth. Yeah, we're salivating. We have some spit. So you can swallow your own spit. And as you swallow, imagine for yourself, where does this spit go to? Let's say in this class, it could go to wherever liquefying is welcome. So if you feel a place that is stiff, send your spit there. You don't have to spit in the room, but maybe use your tongue inside the mouth like a compass. Yeah, I use the tongue to direct the water, the speed, to say, hey, maybe go there. There you're needed. And the tongue can also play upwards towards the upper palate. And let's say the ears are like bars for water as well. Or beer taps, or any liquid that you feel like playing with right now. And whenever the ear drops to one side, some flow of, let's work with beer now. Some flow of liquid with bubbles, your favorite tap beer, can flow in that direction. And let's say the other ear is a different beer tap of a different kind of beer. You have different kinds of beer flowing through the bar that is your body. And you can have your drink of choice flowing through your spine. So these are just a few main channels. We have one arm, another arm, and the spine. And between the two arms and the spine, there are many different smaller channels. And in these smaller channels, we can send air, puffs of air. I don't know why I get this image, but with the dentist, they have this blow of air to dry the area. Maybe because I started with the saliva. If this is not bothersome to you, then you can use this blow of air from the dentist. And if you have bad memories from the dentist, maybe you can use this to make a nice memory. And if you want to use some other image, feel free. But anyway, liquid, and some air catching drops of liquid that fell out of these channels. And see inside your torso, where do you feel something that is hard to detect, like not very clear in your body image? Maybe close your eyes, and inside this movement that you're making, see which parts of your body are harder to grasp for you. Maybe around the middle of the chest, or some part of the spine. And just for now, make the volume of the movement smaller or lower. And use these small movements that remain in your body to send gentle vibrations to this area that is not contained in your body image very clearly right now. In other words, it's like you're sending greetings of invitation, but not demanding for participation. Yeah? It's like the image that I sent, the message I sent to you today in the group. I said, hey, there is a gift session. If you want, you're welcome to join. But I didn't demand for your participation. So look inside your body for the same. Is there a part of you that is maybe didn't feel a part of this group before, the group of the organs in your body image, and you're just sending a kind invitation saying, hey, this class is free. I don't know, maybe join if you want. You don't have to. Could be nice. And also remind that body part that it's free to leave if it wishes to. And if it chooses to join in its own terms, just let it know it is welcome. Okay. So if you want, you can open your eyes again, gently, soft eyes. Just these echoes of movement and feeling of everything is invited to this game that is not very clear, that we are playing with. Okay. And to this, we just add a little contact between our fingertips and the front of our body. So the game stays kind of the same, not very clear, maybe some feeling of water flowing through some liquid, maybe some blows of air inside, some parts that are more clear and other parts that are less clear, but it's all happening inside our body. And now what we do is just add a little tapping of the fingertips. Tapping or caressing. So we also get an awareness to the membrane, the outer membrane that is wrapping all of these happenings. Yeah, our skin. Sure, maybe you can feel your bones through the touch of your fingers. Yeah, the rib cage. Also now notice, are you keeping your body quite frontal to the screen, or does it rotate to the right or to the left? Do you maybe choose to turn your back to the screen? That is also an option. Are you still playing with your ears? Everything that I propose is yours to play with. If you wish to abandon it, go ahead. And whenever it feels like something that could be helpful, invite it up again. So ears can be like beer taps. When you feel you've muted something in your body, allow your voice to express itself. And maybe now the fingers can also visit the back of the body. Getting familiar with the back of the membrane. We can continue to cleaning. This is classic Ilan Lev cleaning. We just brush the skin. We clean it out. And as we are touching the skin, cleaning our limbs or maybe our torso or legs, doesn't matter the exact maneuver, but the point is that even though we're touching the screen, the skin is not disconnected from the layers below. We have the superficial fascia and then the deep fascia and the muscles. So as you are taking the skin and kind of pulling this sleeve, you're also massaging deeper layers. And also clean through the back of your head, back of your neck. And you can have one cleaning going forward, and the other going back. And now just make it like you're in the shower and you are using soap to scrub yourself. If there is a place in your body that feels maybe a little dirty or like it's been forgotten, again, scrub it. But scrub it with love. Like from the move that you are making, you want this part to feel better. You want to show it some daylight again. So regardless of the dirt has been there for some years or just a few seconds, it doesn't matter. Still, the cleaning has the same intention. Scrubbing, wanting to invite freshness again. Yeah, because that's the right of every part of your body to be fresh. Yeah. You know, most all cells in the body, they renew themselves, but sometimes we have a feeling that a part of the body is much older than the years we have lived. I am 30 something, sometimes my neck feels like it's 85. And it makes no sense, no part of my body is 85 years old, at least not in a human form. So all my body parts deserve to be refreshed. So I invite again the vitality. Maybe I can make a foolish dance for myself. Make your own foolish dance, doesn't need to look like mine. Yeah, invite your body to inspire your head and your mind. Yeah, so something foolish is happening in the body. I don't know what exactly. I didn't plan it. I'm not monitoring it. But still, this foolishness can rise to my head and help me to lose control a little bit. Good. And we lie down. And now as we lie down, don't become serious. It is still the same playfulness that is our vitality. So we lie down on the back. I mean, if you want to be serious, go ahead, but remember, you don't have to. So we lie on the back. Maybe first we just spread completely, arms and legs. I warmly invite you to make long, loud exhalations. And as you do, feel the vibration going through your body. As you exhale, notice that it's not only your sound and air going out through your lips, but also you send the vibration down your body as if you are making the sound through your toes and heels and fingertips. Try that. If at first it doesn't make sense or doesn't work, I recommend that you don't give up, but give it a few more tries without trying harder, but actually trying less. See which part of your body is holding on or trying hard. And as you exhale, let this body part be even heavier, lazier. Good. And it can be like a conduit for the sound. What was blocked before can pass through these lazy parts of you, like your bass. Okay, you can continue with the sounds if you wish. You can let them go if you wish. By the way, if you're making sounds and you don't hear some of my instructions, that's really good. You don't need everything that I'm saying. It's just propositions for when you get bored, if you get bored. Now let's use our fingertips to roll the head. So the two things happen simultaneously. The fingers are playing with the ground and the head is rolling. And the question is, how is this possible without, how to say? How can the two things happen without them feeling like two separate projects? So something is happening in the fingers and something is happening in the head. And I don't want to have two work managers, project managers. So they both happen simultaneously, but I'm not sure if it's the head moving my fingers or my fingers moving my head. What is certain is that if I feel any effort around my neck or around my shoulders, I'm working too hard. So what happens if I let that go? The rolling and the play of the fingers continue, but my head is lazier now. I notice that I can breathe more easily. You can change the level of your hands. You can go higher to the level of the shoulders or go lower, closer to your pelvis. Let's bring one foot to standing. And this game continues. Fingers pressing the ground and head rolling. Yeah. And from time to time, as I'm doing now, remind yourself you can be even lazier. Work less hard. It's not needed. Remind yourself you're resting on your back. You're invited to be lazy. You don't have to fulfill any protocol of work. It's just resting time, and we're looking for ways to make the resting time more enjoyable. How can we make rest feel even fuller by doing less? One option, as your hand is resting on the ground, see that besides pushing the fingers to the ground, they can also crawl further away. By doing that, they invite the rest of the arm and the shoulder and also the head, follow them. It's like pulling a rope. And if the rope is pulled enough, or if the rod is pushed enough, it will go to the next chain. And again, I remind myself and whoever needs a reminder that you can be even lazier. Somehow, miraculously, being lazy opens shit in the body. It's like we try hard and then things get blocked. we try less, and somehow we realize maybe all of the hard work was not needed. It's simpler than we think. I invite you to smile if you wish to things being simpler than we think. You don't have to think this through. It's not a deep concept. Yeah, it's just a smile to simplicity wherever it is present. Yeah. And even if we cannot see it, remember it's probably under some effort. Simplicity is hiding when it feels that we are looking for deeper meaning of things. Let's just be simple. We play with our fingers, our head is rolling. We are alive so we can smile. Yeah. Don't need to think this through so much. I find my other hand resting on my chest. If you feel like resting your other hand on the chest, you can join me. And as one hand is exploring the ground, the other hand can explore the chest, the ribs. Again, whenever effort is met, smile to it. Not by mocking it. Remember, that's a part of you. If you mock a part of you, the whole of you feels insulted. So no mocking, please. But if you find some part of you that is doing something redundant, breathe to it and just say, I know you're trying to help. And I appreciate that. But maybe you can rest. Maybe we can rest together. Let's try. Yeah? Try not to all the time work hard. Even if just for a minute now, rest and observe what is happening. Even if the happening feels very small or insignificant, still it's worthy of your acknowledging. So see, your two hands are resting on different substances. One hand on the ground and the other on the chest, on the rib cage. There are some similarities, maybe, like the stiff feeling of the ribs. But between the ribs, there are also the softer tissues. And you look for the space between the ribs in the hand that is on the ground. And you feel differences, even if you just imagine them. Differences in the feeling of how your fingers meet the ground. Every finger might meet a different texture. So I'm asking, can you be open not to enforce one sensation, identical sensation on all of the fingers? Allow each finger to have a different experience so it can teach you different things. Same to the hand that is on the ribs. We call them the ribs, we give them numbers, but maybe just today they have completely different personalities or characteristics. I invite us to learn from our own experience and observation rather than by imposing some idea. So I don't know what I'm finding. I'm looking, I'm trying. And whenever I notice I'm using effort, I smile. And I breathe. Yeah. Let's bring the other foot to stand as well. Continuing the same game. One hand to the ribs, the other to the ground. They can change their position. So the hand that is on the ribs can climb higher to higher ribs or go lower. And the one that was, the hand that was to your side can go close to the pelvis, maybe on the mattress, very close to the pelvis. And if you've allowed yourself the freedom to, so the fingers can teach you instead of you telling the fingers what they are meeting, it becomes very clear that now it's a completely different experience. The fingers meeting the mattress and the ribs at the higher chest have much to tell. And I'm not going to tell you what your ribs are telling you, but see for yourself. What is the sensation where the ribs of the right side meet the ribs of the left side? We can call that the sternum, but it tells us nothing about the characteristics that we can find in our body. What about the mattress and the fingers being close to the pelvis? What do they have to tell? And when we just start to play like this, or when we move to a new location, sometimes what the fingers register is not being yelled at us or screamed or emphasized or bolded on a billboard. Sometimes it's just a very gentle whisper. And if you want to hear the whisper, you have to let go of the effort of trying to understand what is being whispered. Let's assume we are not fluent in the language of the sternum and in the language of the mattress close to the pelvis. Let's assume we don't know the language. So first we must listen just to get some impression. And what I find is that smiling makes listening easier. You can try for yourself if you want. Smile and listen to the whispers of the mattress close to your pelvis that your fingers are touching, and of the connecting part of the ribs of the right side and the ribs of the left side. And there are 5 different channels to each finger. In every hand, there is a different channel receiving a different dialect of this area in your body or on the ground. And if you don't try hard to understand what you are receiving, then listening to these 5 different channels at once become possible. And there are also the 5 channels of the 5 fingers of the other hand, meeting the mattress, all receiving information simultaneously in different dialects, in different angles, different depths maybe, different routes going to your brain. And what I ask you to resist, the only thing I ask to resist is the need to make sense of the different messages that are entering. Spend more time on this perception, field of perception, that's all. of sensual perception, the texture, maybe the sounds around you also. You can, if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them and also receive information through your eyes. And allow that just to wash your body with information from within without wording it, without making sense. And now without a transition even, place one hand on the belly and the other on top of that. And the two hands, the 10 fingers, can continue their game of exploring different textures. One playing into the belly, the other playing into the back of the first hand. As if the hand that is resting on the belly is an extension of the hand that is on top. If you have any ambition to reach a certain depth in your belly, smile to it and say, hey, ambition, I know you mean well, but it doesn't really work like that. This shit takes time. And you can take a breath together. Yeah. And continuing this game of playing into the belly, you can turn on your side. Yeah, see how that is happening on the side also, in a weird way. You can use your hands to come to sitting and continue this probing into your belly also while sitting. Feel how the texture of the belly, the abdomen, transforms as you change the position into a more vertical one. See how your weight can shift more into one sit bone or to the other. See how by going vertically, we are already trying, at least I feel it on my body, in my nervous system, we're trying to make sense. We're used to thinking in this position of sitting or of standing. So again, I encourage you to smile into this tendency of making sense of everything. We're trying to, as you get to standing, and just stay open to the different sensations. Take your time. If you feel like staying sitting, you can do that. If you're getting slightly dizzy, smile to that. That's okay. If you want to sit down, you can. Do whatever you feel is needed for you to stay open right now. And as the hands were exploring the texture of the ground before, see that now you have your feet resting on the ground. Yeah, different finger, different toe, different channel, another dialect that is entering your body. Yeah, you have also the heels, right heel, left heel, different points inside your heel. All are avenues for information to pass from the environment and into your mind. And now we'll raise the hands to the sternum. Again, one hand resting on the other. Fingertips are still curious about what is happening inside this space. Curious but not inquisitive. Again, sending a question, not a demand. Hi, what is happening inside there in this mystery of the chest? And then just listen to the echoes. You send a question, you must listen. Otherwise, you complain that you hear nothing. send a question and listen. I remind you that listening is easier with a smile. Not trying to make sense, just being open, that's all. And if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them. And with your questioning and curious fingers, you can keep being curious with the space around you. It can be also on your skin and on your body, but also it can be through the air. You know, your fingers are meeting different molecules in the air around you. This is not an imagination, it is true. The air and what we perceive to be a void around us, or not a void, an empty space, sorry, is filled with things that we cannot see. Can you be open to meeting things that you cannot see? Can you be open to meeting things that you see without wording them? Maybe that will allow you to meet them differently, not through the words that you are used to using. And now very gently and kindly to yourself, caress your body in places that you feel have not been attended to in today's class. Maybe your armpit, or the inside of your ears, or your eyes, or your hair, anywhere that you feel didn't receive this curious and listening, attentive presence of your fingertips. Make this their time now. Also, your groins, don't be shy again. It's not being only I'm being recorded. Yeah. Anywhere that can benefit from your kind touch, don't be shy. Go there. Just to finish today's class, you can bring your hands to your palms to rest on your eyes, just making the image go darker. You can still shift your weight to the right foot and to the left, but make the moments of laziness you have accumulated throughout today's class, allow them to amount to the maximal laziness that you can afford right now. And feel that laziness allowing you to be heavy. If you want to make a lazy sound, be your own guest. And allowing the hands to drop, just caressing the eyes gently. Yeah. Okay. Good. So thank you guys. That's it for today's class. I would say just a few ending words. If you are in Israel this weekend, I'm having a workshop in Tel Aviv. You're welcome to contact me for details. If you're abroad, I am keen to go back to touring and teaching abroad again. If any of you have any connection to anywhere that would like to host me, you're free to contact me. And that's it. Thank you for joining today. It was a pleasure for me. Bye, guys.